This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast, May 17th today. It is a Wednesday, and the day began frosty.
There is a frost advisory in effect for this evening as we dip down to 0.
It's not very often that we put a trigger warning on the show because we're pretty middle of the road. You know, we think we push the envelope because we're so edgy, tongue-in-cheek, wink, wink. But at one point, I just thought I should take the forecast from Charity because she just sounds so pained saying it.
I hate it. It is May. You said it. It's May 17th, and I get it. We're still into May, but frost. Yeah. I get cool nights. Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Right.
But frost.
It snowed at Tea Lake in Algonquin this morning.
I know.
Somebody had that up on the FB, the Facebook, that it was snowing up north. But if it gets rid of black flies, I'm not terribly sure.
You know what? That's a great point. So, but for those who are camping this weekend, I doubt they want snow.
No, I don't want snow. But there's something about, lined pants and a hoodie with 10 degrees sunny weather that I think is just fabulous. I love it. I don't need 25 degrees when I'm camping. I do when I'm golfing and when I'm home. But if I'm going up north, I don't mind a little bit of a nip in the air. Yeah. Around the campfire, just something that keeps the bugs down.
It's different from frost.
True. Okay. All right. There's that. Yeah. We don't need...
A nip in the air because I like fall camping to me.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the bugs.
That's right.
And like you said, a nip in the air and some warmer clothes, the blankets, the fire, perfect. But in May...
Yeah, I know.
I want the warmer weather.
Promise of the whole summer ahead.
Exactly.
I love it.
And May 2-4, and I fall into this category. For many, it's the kickoff to summer. This is kind of the cottage. The boats are out on the water. The Trent Severn Waterway opens up this weekend, so the locks are reopened. People are just out doing things. So yeah, frost, you can go suck it. That's awful. I hate it.
If you're not living in the Quinte region, first of all, you've never heard Charity say, just go suck it ever in your life, as I haven't until seconds ago. The Trent Severn Waterway, of which the Quinte region is the eastern portion of it.
We're like at the bottom of it.
It's Trent Severn. So Trenton is the end of it. Port Severn is the beginning, which is the flow from Georgian Bay.
It connects,
which is a portion of Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, across the province of Ontario to connect it.
It connects all the Great Lakes, does it not?
Yeah, to the Bay of Quinte, which flows into Lake Ontario. So it's a way to get it, but it's...
and you can even go out to the coast if you so desire. Like it connects the waterway through Ontario, yes.
Yeah. Now, it's meant to be pleasure craft. You couldn't get...
No, not great big ships.
Couldn't get anything through it because there are, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do it, 40 locks. 50 locks, give or take, that step its way across cottage country and into the Quinte region. It links Muskoka, Kawarthas, and the Quinte region.
37.
37 locks. And
the lift locks. Don't forget the lift locks in Peterborough.
The lift locks, yeah.
Yep.
There's one there's 2 lift locks on there. There's another one.
Yep. Flight locks, 2 of the world's highest hydraulic lift locks. Where does it say?
I'll know the area as soon as you say it.
I want to say is it Big Chute?
Big Chute, that's it.
Big Chute and Peterborough.
And Peterborough, the lift locks. And then there's one that's also a railway that pulls boats up.
Is that Big Chute?
Maybe that's Big Chute. There's a railway, too, that's phenomenal. But just the technology to watch it. I'll go get an ice cream and sit and watch it all day like an 8-year-old because I just love it.
It is. It is a lot of fun. We do that with the kids, too. We have how many in Campbellford? There's 3... 1, 2, I want to say there's 3 through Campbellford.
Locks, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
And then there's 1 in Glenross that we go down and watch the boats go through as well. There's
about 4 in the Trenton region. It just strikes me like around Glen Miller as you get up around Frankfurt. So there's a lot to get down into the Bay of Quinte in Trenton. But anyway, that opens on Friday for the Victoria Day long weekend.
Yeah,
and
so
I think
boaters
that's one
just
reason
love
why,
it.
we We just love this long weekend coming up.
And the cottages too. Like you mentioned camping. This is when a lot of people, because I know cottage country, people think of Muskokas, but we also have a very large cottage country or population here in Prince Edward County, as well as north in Bancroft. So this is the weekend too. A lot of people go back and they open things up. They put docks in, again, the boats, and they get everything ready for the next 4 months of just being there.
I love to get a camping chair and a bottle of pop and a bag of chips and sit on the overpass of the 401 and watch cars stop on the way to Toronto. Westbound.
Do you?
We are 2 hours away from Toronto by car, and they will be stopped.
Yes.
Outside Belleville at 5 o'clock, getting back to Toronto, stopped. And I don't know how you guys do it. You leave Friday, you come back Sunday. Half of it's in your car.
Yeah.
Half of it.
Another reason why, and we talked about this with the police chief yesterday, we are so lucky to live in this area.
We do.
Because we don't have those commutes. Even for me, going to a cottage, I always think of Bancroft. And even that drive, I love that drive, number one. But it's never been
I know.
It's never been bumper to bumper, trying to get out of somewhere to get to somewhere else and having to sit in a vehicle for more than maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you're there. And that's for distance, not because you're stuck in traffic, but just the distance, pure distance.
Kath and I will purposely choose, and we don't even think about it anymore. It's an automatic that we choose campgrounds because Algonquin spoils us, because you can get to Algonquin without the 401. You don't have to go on a 4-lane highway.
Exactly.
So intentionally, when where do you want to go? What campsites do you want to look at? Where do you want to go for day trips? We just purposely know we're not going to pick anything on the 401 corridor in the summertime because it's crazy. Anyway, if you're coming into the region this weekend, enjoy it. A lot of stuff going on next weekend, and we'll talk about that in later podcasts. But today's a special day for the Quinte Film Alternative, a very active group here that brings in films that, for the most part, sort of stay on the fringe very well, but they discuss topics. They're not just big blockbusters, and it's going to feature a special talker today from one of the local organizations. We have Minnie Verberg, who is on the show with us this morning. Quinte Film Alternative Wednesday today is a really special one, Minnie, because it kind of comes to an end with the spring session.
Well, not totally yet. We still have 2 more movies to go after this one. There's one on May the 31st and one on June the 14th, which is members only with a gala. So that's when but it's the last interview with you that I'm doing. Yeah, I know. That's so sad.
It is sad. We'll pick it back up in the fall. But tell us about today's movie that's going to be featured.
Today's movie is called Alice Darling, and it's starring Anna Kendrick. And it deals with abuse, emotional abuse of relationships. And a couple of friends of Alice, they take her to a cottage for a weekend, and they try and help her to deal with the situation because, as you know, with most people who are in that kind of a situation, they don't want to talk about it and they don't want to admit it because they live in fear, right? So anyway, and it's more than wine on the menu at the cottage. So it's interesting to see how that's going to happen. But I found it also very interesting that Anna herself was in an emotionally abusive relationship. So I can imagine it would have been either difficult or I'm not sure how she would have done this.
Yeah, because sometimes these are very, what I would call small movies as compared to like blockbusters. And you don't always see A-list stars like that want to take it. But if it's a personal thing for her, you could see why she would jump at a project like this.
Exactly. And in addition to the movie today, we also have a guest coming. Caitlin Wumette, she's a training and educator coordinator from Three Oaks Foundation. She will be at the movie and speaking to our members afterwards and with a Q&A session.
Wow.
So that's for both afternoon and evening showings.
A tough subject, certainly, but how important and what an opportunity.
Exactly, and it's probably more prevalent than we realize.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
2 performances, or 2 showings, I should say, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock tonight at the beautiful Belleville Empire Theater. Tickets are available for walk-ups or on your website.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Wonderful. Alice Darling playing today, brought to you by the Quinte Film Alternative. Minnie Verberg joining us this morning. As always, thank you, Minnie.
Thank you so much.
And thanks
Have a great day.
Thanks for all your time on this, and enjoy your wrap-up on June 14th.
Thank you.
So Anna Kendrick, of course, last time we heard of Anna Kendrick, she was at the Toronto Film Festival getting saved by firefighters when she was locked in the elevator.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
And was very grateful for it.
And for some reason, I thought this film was released nationwide, and it might have been, but as you pointed out, Quinte Film Alternative, not so much blockbusters. So it could have been nationally released, just didn't get the necessary focus that maybe it deserved. And as we heard from Minnie, it certainly deserves some focus, tackling a very important subject, and to have a guest speaker there afterwards too, I thought that's pretty neat. That's pretty incredible. Great opportunity to learn more and just be able to talk about it. And she pointed out about Anna Kendrick, and I had read the article when this movie came out. She gave an interview, Anna Kendrick did, about the relationship, the toxic relationship she had been in, didn't even realize she was in, which is the case.
That's the thing.
Because you're in it, so you don't see it until you can step outside of it. And then doing this film and how it was a way for her to not only deal with it and recognize it herself, but very therapeutic to work through, very painful and hard, but also a great way for her to work through some of those feelings and get past it.
And if you're a friend that can see it and a friend can't, and you dance on those eggshells of saying, is it any of my business? Because sometimes if you bring it up, they say, it's none of your business, it's my relationship. Good questions to ask today, good things to hear.
Yeah.
So Minnie, thank you. So we won't have her on the show until the
that's
fall.
it. She did say there's one more movie coming up next week, and then the gala, and it's a members-only gala. So if you're intrigued by it and you think, oh, well, maybe that's something I'd like to be a part of, you can always become a member of the Quinte Film Alternative. So check out their website and do that, because some great films have come through. Minnie has been wonderful at highlighting a handful of the ones that have come through this year.
And how do they choose them? A handful of the Quinte Film Alternative sort of judges will go out onto the movie festivals. I know they picked a number of them from Sudbury that just had gone through, and so they went there and came back, because they'll sit and watch 70 films and come back with
international films, not just this one. This one this week was filmed in Canada, and I know she featured on, was it Canadian Film Day or Director's Day? It was another Canadian movie, but they're not just Canadian films, is my point. They're international films.
Yeah, so really neat. So, Minnie, thank you very much for that. And then we had some fun this morning after our Crime Prevention Week broadcast at Belleville Police Service. We were in the perp room. That's what I call it. That's where... If you have committed a transgression, you go into the little room.
If you're visiting police headquarters, not to broadcast.
That's correct. And they would like to have a record of your visit. They bring you into this room where they take your fingerprints, and then they put you up on the wall, and they take a picture of how tall you are. Well, I took one look at that and went right to the wall as camera as
not really by choice.
Phone.
Yeah, it was more like, hey, Mark, we need a picture. Go. So, yes, I did. I captured you in front of the, what is that? I don't want to, it's not a ruler, but it does measure your height.
Yeah, you see it in every mug shot.
Exactly.
How tall you are. And I thought you stood on the ground. You actually stand on
a scale.
On a little stool.
So they take your weight. No, it was a scale.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
So they record your weight.
Did you see how much I weighed?
No, because I think you have to, because there's the desk there where they write everything down. So I imagine it just computes. When they're filling it out, it fills in. But you were stepping on a scale.
Did it take my cholesterol level?
I doubt it.
Blood pressure?
That's through your arm.
Should I get a haircut?
Looking at the picture, no, I thought it looked okay.
Okay.
But
so that was fun. So we invited people on Facebook to say, if I were arrested, if this were a legitimate mugshot,
what would Mark be in trouble for?
Chances are, what crime did I commit? And virtually you all landed on the hot dog costume.
Now, not just wearing the hot dog costume, but being distracting down on the street, standing out on the street, distracting drivers. Some also said disturbing their sleep in a good way, but still disturbing their sleep. Cookies. Someone said something about eating too many cookies.
Yeah.
And Marsha's, though, was my favorite, because she said you were getting caught tampering with Throwback Thursday.
So voter fraud.
Voter fraud. Yeah, that's why he's in. And it's true. The last 2 weeks especially.
I'm not Did I win the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, you have.
And one of them I was on vacation.
I know, you weren't even here. You weren't even here.
That's why, because if I was here, wouldn't have won. Everybody loves you. No,
not really, because I've lost, because you keep tampering with the results. And that's why there's a picture now of you, a mugshot of you up on our Facebook page. But feel free to share your thoughts, too, why Mark would find himself in that situation.
So we tweeted out to the Hot Dog Kings.
Of you in your costume.
And it was loony night last night at the Blue Jays. They fell to the Yankees. There were 5 of them there last night, and they combined to eat 44 hot dogs. And I would love that. Maybe the first 4.
I didn't understand the time frame. Over the course of the game.
Yep, they just keep going.
So they're just constantly eating hot dogs. Now, these aren't the foot-long hot dogs.
No.
These are the
normal,
regular size
Schneider hot dogs. So you got 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
So as you pointed out, on average, about 9 hot dogs over the course of 2 hours.
Yeah, you think, well, I could do that.
That's 4.5 hot dogs an hour. You don't think you could do that?
Well, I don't know. That 5th one's going to go, that's pretty good. Then that 6th one's going to look really. And then by the time you get to the 8th and the 9th, I just believe that you can talk yourself into it. You hear Joey Chestnut does 72 in 10 minutes, and it's like, oh, yeah, I could do 30. Well...
No.
Okay.
Could you eat a hot dog an inning?
True. Oh my gosh.
That's
what
how you break it down.
What a wonderful way to look at it.
Could you eat a hot dog an inning? I think you could.
If you had a hot dog at the first batter of the top of every inning, and then started, that's the deal. Wow, what a great way to think about it. Okay.
I think you could.
But the thing is,
don't drink beer.
Yeah. Okay.
Stick with water.
I think the deal is I'm going to try it at home. I'm going to watch a Jays game. I'm going to fry up maybe
Kathy.
10 hot dogs and try it. Like, why embarrass myself in public? I'd never do that.
Well, you should train. If you're serious about this and you want to join this group.
Yeah, because I don't want
to be embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't want to go and do 3.
And let them down.
And have a walk of shame wearing a hot dog costume
yeah, because that's going to do it. I didn't eat enough hot dogs in my hot dog costume.
On the GO train back to Oshawa. Nobody needs to go through that.
You're right.
I should probably do that. But anyway, they ate 44. So, but thanks for that, everybody. But with Crime Prevention Week, we go to our Throwback Thursday tomorrow. So we pick songs by the Police. And hard to believe that on this show, it kind of went off the rails.
I didn't even make this connection. Well, it's how you went down the rabbit hole today.
I made the connection. But people talk about
oh my gosh,
Every Breath You Take is a stalker
Which is a great song.
Yeah, great song, but it's a stalker song.
If you think, it can be.
And everybody
it's either a stalker song or a really heartfelt, like loving song. Like you were in it. You love this person so much.
Says the stalker. That's the stalker's rationalization.
I choose to err on the side of love.
I know, but then Charity chose for her song, Don't Stand So Close to Me. So how does that song get a pass?
Because I honestly, 2 things. I like the start of the song, and I have space issues. So quite honestly, that's why I picked it. I didn't think anything more about it until you brought it up this morning, and you said that. Why do you get a pass on that song? And it took me not even a second. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. True. And Sting's listening going, guys, enough already. We don't have any other questionable songs.
Taken, teacher and student.
Teacher and student.
But then Mark,
she's waiting.
But then Mark didn't realize his own song, or did you?
No, and then I went, oh, right, I'm doing Roxanne, who's a prostitute. What did we? So we literally had a live intervention on our own with the 2 of us with our police song. So,
but I think the bigger issue here is the police. Not that we picked. What else are we supposed to do? We can only pick from the songs we're given, right?
Right.
So I know they have a larger library than those 3 songs, but those are 3 very big songs by the Police that we both enjoy, and we thought this would be a fun throwback. What does that say about the Police, though?
Okay, so what songs
that they wrote a stalker song, a relationship between a teacher and a student, which isn't okay.
Song.
And then about a prostitute.
Yeah.
So what does that say about them?
Yeah.
And the environment they grew. Now I feel bad for them.
Okay, ready?
Okay, go.
Message in a bottle.
Message in a bottle.
Nope. Littering. Nope. Throw a bottle in the ocean. Can't be doing that one.
That's
Spirits in the material world. Don't shove your religion on me, Police. Right?
So what are we supposed to do? King of Pain.
Oh, great. Bondage song.
Oh, my gosh.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
So what are we supposed to do then?
I don't know what we're supposed to do. We'll just do Sting's Fields of Gold.
Oh,
great.
I love that song. What's wrong with that?
Marijuana. Thanks.
Fields of Gold is not marijuana. It's wheat.
Heroin.
No, it's not.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Fields of Gold, I think farming, agriculture.
Okay.
Wheat. It's not marijuana. Marijuana's green.
Let's see. Russians. No, that one's obvious. We can't do that one.
What? All This Time.
All This Time. Yeah, maybe.
Could do that one.
Okay.
That's not a bad one. See? Ha! Found one.
Brand New Day.
Not bad. Not my favorite.
Brand New Day. But anyways, that was kind of fun this morning. So anyway, it's going to be either Don't Stand So Close to Me or Roxanne. Vote on Facebook. Winning songs coming up tomorrow morning after the 8 o'clock news.
The other funny element to this is before we went on air to do it, you said, I've got a funny thing or I got a story. And when Mark has a story, I thought, okay, he's got an anecdote about police.
Anecdote, not antidote.
Sorry, anecdote. I did that yesterday with...
I don't...
This is horrible. I was talking about someone being intubated at the hospital, and I typed incubated, like it auto-corrected, and they're like, incubated? You mean intubated? Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yes.
Sorry. Anecdote about the police. And I thought, okay, well, that's funny because I've got one about Sting. Totally not what I thought you were going to talk about. So now my Sting one just out the window.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I saw him in Toronto in his stage show. It was really good. That was the story I was going to share. And it fell flat because we were too focused on the police and their inappropriate music.
And I feel badly about it now. Because we're going to get something from Sting
Breakfast
today.
Radio.
Yeah, we're going to get something from Sting. Carney Wilson's going to be exactly. Why don't you play more of our stuff? You're right, Wilson Phillips.
We should.
You're right.
We should do a Wilson Phillips week. But other than, hold on.
Carney's a good friend. All right.
I'm going to have to think of another one.
All right. Anyway, we'll have some fun with that coming up tomorrow. Jimmy Hollywood's going to take in new movies this weekend. What's going on? Is there something big this weekend?
It's not Flash weekend.
No. Oh, my gosh.
That's still to come. Oh! Yes, it is.
Is it?
Fast 10.
Fast 10 is this weekend.
Is out this weekend.
Okay.
Do you think he's going to talk about it?
Yes. After he talks about a smaller movie that's also coming out at the same time.
It's streaming. Okay.
Fast 10. I will stand on the hill that Fast 7 is one of my favorite movies.
I'm not saying it isn't a good movie.
Not the whole series. Is Charlize Theron in this one again?
Yes.
Oh, she's great.
Well, you saw the picture of her. That was the premiere.
Oh, was that why she was there?
Rome. They've had the world premiere.
Okay,
so they've been in different places.
Cannes Film Festival.
Over the last couple of weeks. Helen Mirren's in this one. Yep. New is Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay.
He's new to the franchise. So he's the new guy this time around. New bad guy.
And once again, I'm sure they've already filled the job, but somebody could make $1,000 to watch all 10 movies, and you have to itemize each and every car that is damaged or destroyed in any way. So that would include parked cars when they zip down like a small road and take out some poor guy in a moped.
You have to keep track of how many crashes there are, what's involved, how they're yes, everything.
Possible insurance liability.
$1,000 is not enough.
Not nearly enough. Not nearly enough.
And you do have to watch all of the films.
Yeah, which isn't bad, but then doing a book report with math.
Come on, Tokyo. I don't want to see that.
Not Tokyo Drift. No, I'll just pretend I saw that one. I'll watch Fast and Furious 7 twice.
There you go.
Or 6 that has the longest tarmac. Holy smokes.
They also want to know too if it's increased through the movies, if the car crashes, which I think is ridiculous.
Of course it has.
Yeah, you compare the amount of crashes in the first one, which is still my favorite. I still like the first one the best. Compared to 10, because now it's just ridiculous, the crashes. There's going to be a bit more in 10.
If we've learned anything from Netflix documentaries, body count matters. You got to up it. Like if you do a sequel, it has to get bigger and worse. You can't dial it back and say, okay, let's just have a couple of cars bump into each other and one park badly. No. You got to go out and destroy more. And
let's not forget, it's to bring families together.
That's
the underlying theme of the movie.
What's the theme?
Family.
Family. Just like our show. Don't Stand So Close to Me and Roxanne are your songs. Get your votes in. It's all coming up tomorrow on a Throwback Thursday when you wake up. And why wouldn't you with Mark and Charity Mornings on 95.5 Hits FM. Have yourself a great day.